So as you can see, I have about 165 emails to clean out. I figured I show you guys roughly what I do for clients. And if I do it for myself, then I definitely do this for my clients as well. So here we go. So first of all, the first thing that I try to assess in any block of emails that I get is I try to figure out which ones are junk and which ones are things I don't necessarily need to know. So for example, the do not replies, alerting me that something's transferring, or the merchant alerts and everything else like that for apps that I'm using. I tend to delete those because I don't really need them. They're a nice little alert, but I don't need them to be taking up room in my email, especially for last year. But we're also going to look for these things such as Substack, social media posts, things like that. So, okay, scrolling down. That's not what that is. Anything that's a reminder, anything that should honestly be more in the promo folder, especially if it's old, I immediately get rid of those. So we're gonna go back up to the top here. We're gonna keep all of this right up here, and that is a delete as well. I don't know how that stayed there, but it has. And then there are some things I'm not entirely sure what they are just yet, and I'll have to go back in at another time to figure out what it is. But I just try to figure out what things are just by giving it a glance. And then you have things like this where you're like, oh, I know exactly what it is. So we're gonna go here, and I already have a label called social media report. And I will file it. I'll either label it or I will file it in that folder for us to revisit another time. Anything that is from a meeting or so, such as motion, I tend to file them within the clients folder. As you can see over here. So these aren't client folders, so I'll have to go and figure out what those meetings were specifically. We've got another little bit of junk at this point. It's an article that I said that I'd read and then I didn't read. We all do that, don't we? And then this one actually seems really, really interesting to me, and I am very big on education and professional development, so I'm actually going to file that away. So, and now we're back to going and deleting anything that looks like junk. I've put into archive, just because it's always helpful to be able to go back and see what all you've discussed in the past in case they decide to work with you in the future. I'm back down to 9 messages. Just short 3 That's the grants. So we're going to put that in USA funding application. No reminders of news happening or that there is an action from 2024. So it's like publishing. That's one. Yes, that was. Should I miss that? Delete. I'm gonna see these because these are one of these that cost me to use it. Some other partnerships. Another partnership. That's guys. Got my. Here's the side of it. Okay. I can do just. I mean, that's weird. This is what it is. And then I have a page. That's podcast. And we have a couple of things that I'm junk this night. Now down to 47 emails. Now I kind of have to go through all of these just to double check that they are in what they are and who it is for, or rather I should say what it is, if it's a lead, if it's not, so on. But for the most part, this is part of my system. I have all of these very detailed labels. I'm also a very color coordinated person, so I have all of these detailed labels saying, you know, what this is. So clients are very important. That comes up as red, and colors of pink, with the exception of archive, that comes in purple, because it's kind of, I don't know, I view purple as like the red has left the building, or most of red has left the building, if that makes sense. And then we have education, and we have finances, and of course finances stay in green. And then we go into grant management. Now there is more grant management than there were yellow colors, but still, of all the different things that I have filed and so on and so forth. The important save doesn't have a color just yet because I created that earlier today. Oh, here's purple as well, in outreach. And just trying to keep that going in terms of like marketing research, and you know, anytime that I've done a podcast, you know, this is where that lives, where I'm trying to reach out to a mass audience. Partnerships are anyone. First of all, they tend to be leads, but also they are people that I have worked with or want to work with, want to have some sort of referral program with, so on and so forth. And then this is actually more of a label than it is a place to file things. Saying to follow up, like, oh, I need to follow up with this partnership, that could potentially turn into a lead, or that could just, you know, turn into a referral, what have you. And then urgent is also considered more of a label than it is something to file. You didn't get to see me do that earlier today, but that's okay. We're down to less than 50 emails in my inbox, and we have gotten a couple of things cleaned up first, and I have a couple of things, yeah. Thank you so very much for watching this, and I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.